Hello and finally welcome back to the IOSportscast. We're back for season 2.
Yes, baby. Let's go.
The 2022 Formula 1 Grand Prix season.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the one.
The Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. We're particularly giggly, mainly because of the end of that race. Mainly because then we had to go fight a wasp in my room to get the microphone and set L's up.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of sugar involved as well.
Yeah.
So let's cover what's happened since our last episode. The FIA have made some rule changes.
Yeah.
Some of them we were expecting,
Yeah.
like the aerodynamics and the engine and the fuel and stuff. Some of them we weren't sort of expecting. So there's been a clarification with safety cars. Now all
Lapped cars
must be unlapped, which is quite frankly how it should have been.
Basically saying that
been
they made an error for the last
Yeah.
race of the season last year, but
Yeah, but it does stand, and here is the first episode with Max Verstappen as world champion. Which, as I'm not a Max Verstappen fan, I don't particularly like.
nah.
As an F1 fan, like I'm genuinely, like I was properly upset at the end of last season.
Yeah, 100%. I think most F1 fans were.
I think a lot of Max fans were very happy.
Yeah, but it's just the way it finished on it. So.
Yeah, as a fan of the sport, we were definitely let down at the end of last season.
Oh, 100%.
But fortunately, rule changes have been made. We have a new split race director role, and hopefully, the end of major controversy
Yeah.
in Formula 1. There's always going to be human error.
Yeah.
That's part of sport.
Yeah.
I get that.
You get that in every sport.
But systematic error of
Yeah.
that many errors that were happening was not a good thing.
Nope.
But really, the big rule changes for the season, the aerodynamics,
Yeah.
ground effect,
Yeah, that's
back for
come
the
back.
first time in nearly 40 years,
Yeah.
which is causing a few teams some issues, but overall seems to have been something that the teams have got their heads around pretty quick.
Some more than others, but
Yeah. The fuel is now 10% like bioethanol.
instead of 5%, it was
Yeah.
5% last year.
And I think in the coming years we'll just see that increase and increase as the sport becomes more sustainable.
More carbon neutral or whatever it is.
Yeah, which I mean it's a great thing for the environment, but obviously that means the teams are constantly having to eke out more power from less
Yeah.
energy dense fuel. And I'm sure the fuel guys will be figuring
Yeah,
it out.
they'll know.
They
They'll know what
They're
to do.
smarter than me.
Yeah, they're smarter than us. So.
Me, fuel go in, car go room.
yeah, basically.
That's all I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
We've got a few things that we're going to do before we get into the Bahrain Grand Prix itself. We're going to do some long outdated livery predictions now that we've actually seen cars on track and what they're actually running with,
Yeah.
what they've launched with. We're going to do some predictions, some standard sort of season predictions, plus some fantasy predictions that I've set up that I'll
Yeah.
keep running, and then we'll get into Bahrain. So, liveries. I don't know how we're going to do this. I think we'll just go through the teams because I'm not fast
Yeah.
enough to be able to come up with a ranking system.
Yeah, do the team. We'll just do the team order from last
So-
year's constructors.
So, Mercedes. Do we like the Mercedes?
It's gone back to their silver this year.
They've gone back to the silver, which I don't dislike the silver.
Nah.
They've mixed it, I think, quite nicely with the darker colours.
Yeah.
I'm not keen on the yellow of Lewis, like on the tyre eyebrows, wheel brows, whatever we're going to call them.
Yeah. Wheel
and
cover
it's-
things. That's what they are.
Yeah, and while his numbers do pop, I would like some either some purple or some black to really outline it because I can't tell
Yeah.
in the race that was 44.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
overall, it looks
if it'd
alright.
be black with the yellow accent, with the yellow numbers,
Yeah,
it'd
yeah.
look proper nice.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
And quite a different car to the other guys. No side pods.
The slight pods. Yeah.
The slight pods.
Yeah, big change. going around that race, it sort of reminded me of like a squashed Dalek. Like it looked a bit tankish because of the floors so wide.
Yeah.
And those side pods, it's sort of like almost
Balloons out. Doesn't it,
yeah.
at the bottom?
And I was like, this looks a little bit like a tank with this like angled sides.
Yeah.
Because there's no side pod there. Kind of looked like it was the car was constantly breathing in. Trying to lose a few pounds.
So it could go faster.
Yeah. So it's all right for a Mercedes. It's all right.
Yeah.
But it's just all right.
Yeah, it is.
I'm thinking like a 6.
Yeah, 6.5 maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say if they had it in black like they did last year, I'd just put it up to like an 8 because I think it'd look nice in black.
They've kept the black race suits, so I like that.
Yeah, I do.
Which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Red Bull. Now.
Red Bull, isn't it? They're just the same livery for the past 18 years or whatever.
Except this year, they've gone and put a platypus nose on the front, apparently.
Yeah.
And they've just gone, look at our front wing. It's a thing with Red Bull is their colour scheme works so well. It looks so nice, regardless of what car you put it on.
Yeah.
Literally, any of the Formula cars,
Yeah.
any of the rallies, anything that's got Red Bull branding, it looks nice.
I know, but like last year when they were on that one-off livery for what was meant to be Japan,
the white one,
one, that was nice.
That was very nice.
Or like any of the testing liveries they've had in the past few years.
Yeah, I would like to see them do something different. But
Yeah.
why would from a Red Bull point of view? Why would you? It works so well.
And it's the colour. It's the red. If you get a can of Red Bull, that's the colours in it on the blue. And red
yeah, I mean
and
it's
yellow.
not silver. It's fairly silver heavy though. Is it kind of?
Yeah, I know, but I mean like the actual.
I say that like a drink, but I've not had Red Bull.
Yeah, I've not had Red Bull for years.
I think I've had one Red Bull in my life.
Yeah, me too.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, no, I would like to see them do something different. But it is solid. The nose is a little bit weird.
Yeah, bit too much yellow.
Yeah, very platypus duck-esque.
Yeah.
The beak.
The bill, or whatever you want to call it.
I'm gonna say 7.
Yeah, I'll go the same. I'll go 7 as well.
Yeah. Now Ferrari.
Nice, isn't it? Nice colour red as well.
It's like I was
darker than normal.
Yeah, I was immediately saying to everyone at the start of the season, as I have done for the last few years, please go dark.
Yeah.
And then was it 2020 when they did the thought? Was it 2020 when they did the like the back end was?
That
like,
was last year.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
They did like a very cherried back end, which was very nice, and I wanted the entire car in that. I kind of wished it'd got a little bit darker still for me, just closer to more like a cabernet red. Ooh, very posh. I only know that from GTA.
Yeah.
But I wish they'd gone slightly more darker, but there's definitely.
And the black as well on the rear wing looks
nice. Interesting scallop design with the side pods and the engine covers.
Yeah.
Lots of memes.
Especially about the race suits, because it looks like they work at McDonald's. They're doing a lot of McDonald's memes with the race suits.
Yeah. Although I didn't understand that.
Nah.
Because over here,
it's
McDonald's is grey and yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
So black and red, I don't understand.
Unless that's in America.
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely right up there for me.
Yeah.
I think the only thing stopping it from getting a 10 is the numbers are black. And it's very difficult.
If they were white.
If they were white or white outlined, that'd be fine. And I just think the mix of that and the font just makes it, because it's such a blocky font, it looks very difficult to read. Yeah. Like even stood still.
And it looks like they've stretched stretched too much as well, because they don't fit on the front properly. They go over and overhang a little bit.
Yeah, which I don't massively mind.
I know, but it's. I'd prefer it if it was if you could get it all on instead of having to overhang it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 9.5.
Oof, I'm gonna go 9.
9. Ooh. McLaren.
Oh.
I think this might be the first one we properly disagree on.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
I like it, but when they launched
like
it, I'd preferred the shadow livery instead
Yeah.
of the one they've got.
Yeah, McLaren launched 4 cars,
Yeah.
and arguably the F1 car was the worst of the 4.
Yeah.
Because their Extreme E car, with that sort of pastel colour,
Yeah.
for that sort of car worked incredible. That was my favourite of
Oh,
the
100%.
Extreme E.
100%. Yeah.
But they had the Shadow and the Indy car
Yeah.
were just
Spot on.
tweaked to be correct.
Yeah.
Since launch, we have had the Google sponsorship come in, the black band at the top and the chrome wheel covers.
Yeah.
Which the black band and the engine cover kind of works. Quite like it.
Yeah. The chrome wheel covers
Chrome
though.
wheel covers.
No, I preferred the ones from launch where it had the little the blue with the little McLaren.
Yeah, the blue
logos.
flicks, yeah,
Yeah,
that was very nice.
they were quality, but yeah, I don't like the coloured wheel colours.
The only big issue I have for the McLaren, because I do like the pastel colours, and it's like almost like Danny Rick has sort of picked the colour scheme,
Yeah.
like the particular shades. The only issue I have with that is in a really bright race, like sun bright,
Yeah.
it's gonna get washed out.
Yeah.
So like Barcelona, Hungary,
Yeah.
it's gonna get massively washed out.
You're not gonna see it as much.
No, under the night lights, today it looks sick.
Yeah, Singapore. If we go back there,
Yeah,
it should be it'll look nice.
but
But yeah, I agree with you.
giving it an 8.5.
I would
Just behind the Ferrari.
I would give it a 7.
Wow.
7.5. If they didn't have the chrome wheel covers, it bumped it up to an 8. But I don't like the chrome wheel covers.
Yeah.
And if they'd used it to put some of the shadow livery, the eSports livery into it as well,
Yeah.
then it'd go up. But yeah,
Now then, Alpine, number 1, the blue one,
the normal, the
which,
blue,
the normal one that we're gonna see most of the races.
all but 2 races.
Yeah.
Okay.
The blue one, worst of the lot for me.
Out of all the liveries.
Out of all the liveries,
Wow.
and I'm only saying that because there's a massive asterisk with one of the other teams coming up. I don't like that blue Alpine livery. I just can't. There's something about it. It looks 2/3 done. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've done because they had a really nice livery last year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But something has happened. I don't know if BWT got involved at the last minute. I don't know how late into the scheme that whole sponsorship got sorted out. And they just came and said, we need to make some changes. But half the sponsors stick out like a sore thumb. It's like that little bit of pink that they got on there was just gone, you know what, throw some here
Yeah.
and just get it out. It doesn't matter.
To me-
that's the worst.
To me, I prefer the pink one that they used today.
The pink one, solid.
Yeah, it looks like a racing point, but
I mean, it does, but I like the Racing Point as well.
yeah.
It also worked.
Yeah.
It stands out. You know who the sponsors are. You
Yeah,
understand
exactly.
what it's doing.
Yeah. Tell you what I don't like about the Alpine, the race suits.
Yeah.
The blue, the bright neon pink
Yeah.
across the chest.
It's not. It's just the wrong shades that I think they've just got the clash.
If they'd have had like blue epaulets on the shoulders, pink epaulets on the shoulders,
Yeah.
like where the logos were, they'd been alright.
I
I
don't-
thought you got big massive pink stripe across. the
Yeah.
front of
I
it.
don't mind the pink stripe, but I think they needed either to go to either darker blue or a darker pink
Yeah.
just to offset it a bit more. It's not as clashy.
Yeah.
But hey ho, I'm not a livery
Nah.
designer.
Yeah.
So-
we're not livery designers. So.
So my 2 ratings for Alpine, the blue one is getting a 4.
Yeah. I have to agree 100%.
The pink one is getting a 7.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. I like they should just race with a pink one all year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're halfway through its usage.
Yep.
It's going to be used for 2. Well, they say it's only going to get used for 2 races.
But you never know.
You never know. It could just get used the entire season. Alpha Tauri. Now, a bit like Red Bull,
Yeah.
colour scheme that you can't really go wrong with. You have a light mode or a dark mode. It's alright. It's
Yeah.
clean. It does what it needs to do.
Yeah, it does.
If there was one livery you were looking at for any car on the track that you were saying one of these teams is a fashion brand. It's AlphaTauri.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell,
It's
can't
so clean and put together.
you? You could just tell.
The downside of that is there's no character.
Yeah, there's no.
It is very clean. It does its thing.
It's
nice.
grey and white in it. Could do with a few extra colours in there.
It's like it's like a weird off bluey.
Grey, bluey colour.
I like it. I do like it, but it's not my favourite.
No.
It's a 7.5.
I'm gonna go 7. They had a little bit more colour in it. Not much, but just a little here and there.
It does just need something
Here and there.
Just a little hint of yellow or something.
Yeah.
But that's then you're into Red Bull territory, do you understand it?
Or like colours of the Italian flag, like.
Well, it's got the wing mounts.
I know, but that's
wing
only a little tiny bit. If it was like
a
bit more,
then
it'd be alright. I'd give it I'd move it up a grade.
Aston Martin. Now then, when this got launched, this for me was fighting for the Ferrari as the favourite livery. Now I've seen it on track, I'm less excited.
Yeah.
Now I've seen it, because we've seen it in like a testing style and on a racetrack in the night, and it just doesn't pop.
No.
I'm
glad they've got rid of the pink though.
I didn't mind
because
the pink.
all the other Aston Martin teams in different, the other races are that colour green.
Yeah.
Both green.
I do like the lighter stripe.
Yeah. The neon green aspects of it.
Yeah, but last year all the renders that the fans were putting together that were like, if the BWT stripe wasn't there, here's what the Aston should look like.
Yeah.
That green stripe was phenomenal. It popped. It was
beautiful.
It was like a properly lime green.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
No.
I don't know whether that's just whether the paint jobs worked or something.
Yeah.
Or because the actual colour of it isn't bad.
No.
But it just doesn't.
I need to see it in a daytime race. I know it's nighttime and obviously it's different. Deliveries are different day and night. I want to see it in like a proper nighttime, proper daytime race. See what it looks like. Then I might change my opinion on it.
They've gone darker with the racing green though, which is quite nice. I feel like that's more of a proper
British racing green.
It's nice. It's very nice. So when this launched, I was like, this is a 9. Now I've seen it, I'm like, this is an 8.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm gonna go 7.5.
Fair. Williams. Now then, I'm conflicted. Last year, arguably the worst livery. A lot of people hated that livery.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought it was alright.
Blue, white, yellow. I mean, play to Leeds heart.
Yeah.
And a little bit of black. I quite liked it. This year, it kind of depends where you look at it from. If you look at it front on, it's horrendous. It's really awful. If you look at it from the side or the back, though, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's got different shades of blue, though, hasn't it?
It does. I like at the back the sort of like the cross squared W.
Yeah, that is nice, and the red outlines on it as well.
Just to give it a little twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite nice. I think they're good shades of blue. They're not particularly clashy.
No.
And the little bit of red that's in there is against the darker colours.
I would like them to go back to the old, like the FW14B from 1990.
Blue and yellow style.
Yeah. If they got that, because if they did that right, it'd look amazing. But yeah, it's just another blue car in it on the grid.
Yeah. For me, it's good, but like you say, it is just another blue car, and most of the time we're seeing it head on.
Yeah.
Very rarely we're seeing it from the side or behind.
Yeah, exactly. Or the onboards.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7.5, 7.
I'm gonna go 6.5.
Fair. Alfa Romeo.
I actually kind of like this livery.
It's not bad.
The half red, half white.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's better than the last year's livery.
Yeah. It's definitely for me a step up. It's still a little bit weird for me to see. I've not quite settled on whether I like it or not yet.
Yeah. I'm not keen on the. I don't know what to think about the wheel covers. The half and half wheel covers. Half red, half.
Yeah, that I don't particularly like.
I think they should. If they'd have just gone like full red or full white, it'd have looked better. The wheel covers.
Oh no, definitely.
But the fact they've gone half and half, it's just a bit weird. When you just see them going down the track.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot better than last year's livery. And it pops a bit.
Yeah, the red rear wing and like the red nose.
Yeah.
Looks nice, and it works with the little bits of black that are in there.
Mhm.
The air intake on the side pod looks a little bit weird for me though.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a nerdy plane thing here. There's a plane called the DC-9 that's got 3 engines, one on each wing and one in the middle on the back.
Right.
And it kind of looks like they've taken some inspiration and gone, let's really highlight the fact that we've got a hole on each side and a hole at the top and make those white.
Yeah.
I don't know, the intake just looks
weird
for me.
It's not the worst car on the grid.
It's not. I'm looking at the wheel covers now actually, and they've
stationary. They look good.
They've got segments and so in it, and I think if they just alternated the colours, I'd look sick.
So if they're white at the front, red at the back.
No, if you'd have gone like white, red, white, red, white, red.
Oh
around.
yeah. Instead of half and half.
Yeah. I think that'd have worked great.
That would have worked well good.
But yeah, I think the only thing I would want from the from the Alpha is a little bit of green. I want to see a bit more green.
Green?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Italian, isn't it?
Well, the Italian, they have a bit of green in their logo.
Yeah.
Just something like on the wing or something, the front wing. Just
like the end plate, like the end plates or something.
The end plates, or just like at the very front
flat
of the 4 layers.
Yeah.
Like the very front leading edge, just to be striped green or something.
Yeah.
Just to give it an extra colour.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
But apart from that, it's decent. I give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm on a 7.
If the wheel covers were alternate, like you say, or like just one solid colour, it'd be an 8.
Pumps it up a
yeah,
bit,
but the fact they're not is
7, 6.5, 7, somewhere on there for me. And then there's Haas. Now then. Oh, Haas. They've had quite the off season.
Yeah, they have.
So they launched with arguably the weirdest looking car. I say launched, they dropped the photos, there was no launch.
They didn't.
They just acid dropped.
It was delivery on the show car, wasn't it?
With
basically.
the widest, like literal side thwarts. My word, they were strange. Like super guppy fish.
The actual intakes were tiny.
Yeah.
The side pods were massive.
Yeah. They were like, if you've seen the super guppy plane, it looked like that.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. They've refined.
Yeah.
They actually have quite a good car.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I mean, because of quite a negative reason, but positive for the sport and positive for the team, they've got rid of the Eurocarly sponsors.
Yeah.
Which means no Russian flag on the car.
Yeah, which I didn't like anyway.
Can't stand it.
And the new livery, they're just white and red.
White and red.
With a bit of black on the wings.
So nice.
It does.
Just clean.
Do you know what it gives me vibes of?
Yeah.
McLaren in the 90s.
Yeah.
That colour scheme.
Yeah.
The 90s McLaren.
Yeah, the old Honda one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senna and Prost drove.
Yeah, it's got that sort of vibe, yeah. I just like it. It works.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't go wrong.
No.
White and red. English flag colours, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what Haas have been. White, red and black have been their sort of... They did a bit of grey in there, but...
Until Eurocarly came in.
But it's been that sort of system.
Yeah.
And it works. It does work for me.
It does work,
well.
yeah. Apart from that one season when they looked like they wanted to be a Lotus.
Yeah. Which I actually didn't mind. I mean, it was awful. Rich Energy logo.
Yeah.
And my days, the branding was all over the place. But yeah, I think this new clean livery.
Yeah.
It's like an 8.5.
Oh, 100%. 100% have to agree with you.
It's not as good as the Ferrari.
No.
But it's up there.
It's one of the best ones on the grid.
It's just nice to look at.
Yeah.
And I tell you this. We came into this thinking, not like I say we. I definitely came into this looking at last year that car that the F1 producers put together.
The show car.
The show car, yeah. And said, they're not going to look that good. There's no way. And people did like the 2021 liveries on the car. And they all looked great.
Yeah.
There's no way they're looking that good because of regulations. They're not going to look like that to start off with.
Yeah.
As we've seen, the cars are all over the place.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked.
Aside from the Alpine blue one.
Yeah, they're all decent.
This is probably the best looking grid we've ever had.
Yeah.
Or at least in my time of watching.
Yeah. I have to agree with you.
My word, we have some good looking cars.
Yeah, it's that Ferrari especially. I know I'm a big Lewis fan and that, but that Ferrari is how they say El Magnifique. Even though they're not French, I'm like they're Italian. But I don't know what the Italian is, so I'm just going to use the French.
You could have said better.
Yeah, well.
That's right. Piss off the Italians. Start season 2 the right way.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right. Prediction time. We're gonna go for who you think's gonna win the drivers' title.
Yep.
Who you think's gonna win the constructors' title.
Yep.
And then a surprise driver and team, and then some
underachievers. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, who's winning the drivers' title?
For me, it's between two.
Okay.
It's between Charles.
Yeah.
And Lewis.
Okay. Interesting. Why those two?
Because I don't like Max Verstappen. And obviously Lulu was robbed. I know Mercedes haven't got off to the best of starts, and they're a bit behind. But I think the next few races they'll pull it out of the bags and they'll start being normal Mercedes again. And I think that Ferrari's shit hot and unbelievable. So I think Charles has got more of a chance than Carlos. So I think it'll be between Lewis and Charles.
Yeah, I'm going to push you for one answer, mate.
I'm going to have to go with my boy Lulu.
Wow. Interesting.
But I wouldn't be upset if Charles won a bit. I'd be happy.
Okay.
I won't be upset. I'd be like, yo, well done. Because I really do like Charles.
Yeah. How do I word this? I think that's right, I'm pushing that because I'm trying to think strategically here. So I'm going to combine my drivers and constructors together so you understand what I'm thinking.
Right, okay.
For me, it's Ferrari versus Red Bull. Mercedes will join that battle, I'm sure of it. But I think as a general car structure, even if Mercedes get the pace back, that car looks bad. It just doesn't drive well.
Yeah. And
the last time they had that, Ferrari were all over them. And
yeah.
Ferrari cocked it up. Mercedes didn't win those seasons. Ferrari lost those
seasons.
Yeah. And I think because of that, the mindset later on in the season for Ferrari will move towards the constructors because that's where their money is.
Yeah.
And I think they'll effectively throw the drivers' championship in the bin if it gets them the constructors.
Yeah.
Sort of the opposite to Red Bull. Red Bull were very much pushing Max last season for the drivers. And I think Ferrari will do the opposite. I think as much as Perez played a crucial role last season in Max's title, overall, I think Ferrari have the better partnership in drivers. I think they've got the more consistent pair in terms of performance and being up there. So I'm going to say Max for the drivers, Ferrari for the constructors.
Ooh.
And if you'd have said that at the end of last season, There's no way I'd put either of those as winning.
For me, constructors, I think it might be Ferrari for the constructors.
For any reason other than they just look good. And
Yeah, just because they look good and they've got a good driver pack, and I think they work better than Max and Checo.
Right, a surprise driver and team if you want, or one or the other, whichever you want.
I'm gonna go for the surprise team first.
Okay.
I know I'm only basing this off one race.
Yeah.
But Haas.
I agree.
I think they'll be midfield, solid midfield.
Yeah.
They'll be consistently in the points or thereabouts.
Yes.
So yeah, that's for me. That's best surprising team.
I completely agree. That's who my pick is. I think the other slight surprise. I mean, depends how you want to class surprise. I think Alpha are gonna drop back. I think today they pushed a little far.
Yeah.
I don't see them being up there. I think Williams hopefully will be fighting to get out of that bottom group and push forward. But I think we all knew, with Haas writing off last year, that they were putting a lot of work into this year's car. And it's just looked good. It's not like they've got lucky with the results and happened to have finished 5th today. Like they've been up there fairly solid. So they're going to be my surprise team. Whether it technically is a surprise, I guess, I don't know. But actually, this leads me on to my underperformers. But do you have a surprise driver specifically?
Surprise driver? No, probably. I don't know. Probably Schumacher might do.
Might do bits.
Yeah.
I think a surprise driver for me will be. I want to say Alex Albon, but is it a surprise? We know what he can do. We know he's a decent driver. I think he'll get more out of the car than Latifi will.
Yeah.
But I don't see him doing anything spectacular because it's still a Williams. They're still rebuilding at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If he gets some decent points though, I think that'd be good. Could he get a top 5 finish with a bit of luck? Maybe.
Who?
A bit of luck. Albon.
Williams.
Maybe.
I don't think he will.
I mean, a bit of luck. I mean,
you've got to have he's got to have a lot of luck.
Yeah, I think it's not unheard of, especially this year with the amount of reg changes.
Yeah.
We have no idea. Literally, even the last race of the season, we won't really have an idea because we've not driven around Abu Dhabi with these cars.
Yeah, exactly. We've not driven around most tracks with these cars.
Exactly. So even though we might have an overall picture idea, race to race this season, anything could still happen. I think Albon is going to pull 1 or 2 big performances out. He's definitely going to get the most out of that car.
Oh yeah.
Right, underperformers. I'll follow on because I'd started.
Go on then.
The other surprise is we could think about a bad surprise, and my bad surprise is McLaren, because I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know whether all this issue is just from their brakes. Yes, it's a big issue, but there's something else going on there for me. Because first bit of proper testing, Lando went P1, and everyone were hyping McLaren up.
That's when they didn't have the brake issues though.
Well,
they might have done, but they might have did.
I mean, yes and no. None of the cars were properly pushing there. They didn't really know what the full extent of the cars were. You've got Lando shutting that down very quickly. And he can be a little bit too honest with the press. I think there might be something else going on there. It is a little bit too early to say, but there was no point, particularly at the second test in Bahrain, there was no point that I went, Well, McLaren's look good.
Yeah.
The livery's nice, but the car doesn't.
Nah.
No point did they set off the lights for me.
I'm worried that they might be like 20. Might go back to the
I don't think they're going to be that bad.
14, 15.
Because that car had every bit of issue.
GP2,
The engine,
GP2.
the engine was rubbish. The chassis was rubbish. The aero was crap, and the drivers were very frustrated.
Yeah, but it doesn't fill me with confidence the fact that they had to 3D print the brake ducts.
I'd call that ingenuity.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what brakes can get up to 1200 degrees and.
Yeah. Well, obviously they'll not just use plastic. They will have come up with some fancy high tech.
Yeah,
material.
I know, but the fact that they couldn't get any.
But the thing, that might be a good thing though. That might be a good thing that they know what the problem is, but they just can't manufacture the part fast enough.
Yeah.
That if they can print something that's gonna at least get them to finish the race,
yeah,
and
right.
have some data
Yeah.
on what's what.
Yeah.
It was effectively an extra test day for them.
Basically, I hope they've got it. They get it sorted by Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia don't know about.
What's the next race after Saudi? Imola?
I want to say Australia. Yeah, Australia.
I thought Australia was back end.
No, Australia's third.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the changes for Australia.
Yeah, that's.
Been waiting to see them for a good few years now.
We'll discuss those in the Australian weekend though. I think McLaren could be underperformers. I guess it depends what your class as underperformers, because given the last 8 years, Mercedes being the third team would be an underperforming.
Yeah.
I think the Aston worries me. The Aston team just doesn't look good, but they didn't look good last year, so I don't think you can call them underperformers. It's McLaren for me that are at the worry right now.
I'm gonna go a different route.
Yeah.
Who's your underperformer? Are you doing a driver? Or
I have a driver.
Who's your driver? Or do you want me to do my team?
Do your team. You do your team.
For me, I see where you're coming from with McLaren, but I think that might just be a little blip, and then if they get it, whatever their issues are sorted, they'll probably be up in the midfield, like high midfield. I think it's going to be Aston Martin.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I know they didn't do well last year, but I don't think they're going to do as well.
You think they're going to do worse than
I
they
think
did
they're
last
going to
year?
do worse.
You think they're going to be like bottom two teams?
Yeah.
Sort of thing?
Yeah. Because
even with Vettel there.
yeah. I know they had a few good results, like they had the podium at Baku, but that's just because it was a crazy race. But it's like they didn't really do well in this race. You didn't really see much of them, and they were at the They were at the back. So I don't know what.
Didn't Vettel also get DQ'd from Hungary?
Yeah, because of the fuel.
Yeah.
The fuel thing.
Yeah, but he was running P2, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I don't think. I don't think
you've written them off.
Yeah, I've written them off. I could get proven wrong, and they could do really well and finish like, I don't know, 6th in the constructors. But what I've seen so far, or what little we've seen so far, because they hardly got any TV coverage, I think they'll be at the bottom, near the bottom.
Yeah, fair. So, underperforming driver. I have 2 choices. Again, can you class one as underperforming? Nicholas Latifi. I think Albon will sweep the floor with him.
Oh, 100%.
I think this will be the moment where we see
what he's made of. Make or break.
Genuinely what Latifi's made of. Like, we knew George was good, but he was given, for the most part, the car that even if they both performed well, they weren't going to fight for anyone.
Yeah.
Last season, though, they had a car that was edging out those bottom groups, and there was a big gap.
And not only that, but George outqualified Latifi basically every race. Not only that, but there was races where George finished higher. I get in Hungary. Did the double point score in Hungary?
Yeah.
Last year, but not only that, but just
on the whole,
George got a lot more out of that car. Yeah. I think comes from a break. I know it's a long way away, but I think comes from a break. If Latifi's not up there with Albon, or like
in
where he should be, I think they'll get rid of him,
even though he's a paid driver.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That, or they'll be like, or they won't renew his contract for next season.
You Yeah.
they'll announce somebody either to replace him or they'll just get rid of him.
Yeah, I think the fact we know what Albon can do now, and what he did at Red Bull has sort of been validated by the fact that Perez can't do it.
Yeah.
Sort of puts into perspective actually Albon and Gasly were doing bits, as Gasly has since proved at AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
I think Albon will get a lot out of this car, and if Nicholas Latifi doesn't up his game and try and match him, then it shows that he's, I don't want to say he's like a Valtteri Bottas, he's always going to be number 2, but
I don't think if
he's going up against 2 decent drivers and not getting close. That's the issue.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
It's Canadian, so he probably will be.
Would I be bothered if he left Formula 1 this season?
Nah, not really. Not really done much, has he?
No. My other option for underperforming driver is Yuki. I am not sold yet. I'm really disappointed because Yuki is a fast driver, and we've seen glimpses of that last season. He has his moments where he's really good, and he had that in the junior categories, and I understand why Red Bull have brought him up. He said himself he's surprised he's kept his drive for this season, which I kind of agree with. It's a bold statement to say without Marco or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I kind of agree with it. I just hope that's enough of a kick up the backside to get him going.
Yeah.
But there's just an inkling in the back of my mind that says that's just not a good environment for him, and he's not going to do well.
If he's got, not only that, but he said that, so he'll have that looming over him all the time. Like, if he makes one little mistake, he'll be like, shit, that could be my drive, that could be me done.
Yeah. Particularly in that middle bit of the season where contracts are coming up.
Round the summer break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, underperforming driver,
I'll probably agree with you, go Latifi.
Yeah.
Just because obviously the reasons that you said, like, yeah, this is his second season in third season in Formula 1?
Third, yeah.
And he's not really done much.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, he's not really had the car to do anything with.
Yeah, I know, but neither has George. But look what he's done compared to Latifi. That or Stroll.
Interesting. Do you think any of the big teams are going to have underperforming drivers?
No.
By big teams, I mean
Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes.
And maybe McLaren.
I think McLaren might.
You think Danny Rick's going to have another bad season?
Yeah. Because I think Lando's the number 1 driver in that squad. In that team.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is. You don't sign a 4-year contract.
No.
Man, probably googling how to get out of a 4-year contract right now, but
who, Ricardo?
Norris. Why have I signed my life away to a team that can't make bricks?
Yeah. Nah, I think, out of the big 4, I think it might be Danny Rick. I know he got a win last year at Imola, but that was obviously different circumstances. But last year, like, Lando just outperformed him in mainly every department.
How do you think George is going to do? You think he's going to match Lewis fairly well?
I don't. Well, obviously Lewis is a 7-time world champion.
Yeah.
In all but 3 seasons.
But he's not going to get shown up. Do you think?
In all but 3 seasons, he's only ever been beaten by his teammate.
Yeah.
I think George will put up a good fight. I don't think he'll be as bad as Valtteri was.
Interesting.
I think if the team need him to be like that second driver and that wingman, if they're fighting for wins, I think George will do that.
Oh yeah, I mean he should.
Like with Perez and...
He's shown that before.
Like what Perez did at Abu Dhabi last year, slowing Hamilton down.
Yeah.
I think if George is in that position and they ask it, I think he'll make that car as wide as possible.
Yeah, I mean, shout out. Last year there were 2 unbelievable defensive drives. For me, it was Perez doing absolute wonders in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And Alonso at Hungary.
Oh yeah, 100%.
2 of the best. If you want to be a defensive driver, you watch.
Watch them 2 races.
My word. I mean, and Yuki, to be fair, Yuki's had more defensive drives.
But I think he'll give. If Mercedes let them race,
yeah,
I think
be reasonably matched.
I think he'll do a lot better than Bottas. Like if he's stuck in traffic, I think he'll fight through it better.
Yeah.
Because like with Bottas in that Mercedes, he couldn't really fight through traffic, but Lewis could. And plus, I think George is a faster driver. We've proven that when he raced at Sakhir that year when Lewis had COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smashed Bottas all over the place. But I think George is not only that, but he'll learn a lot from Lewis as well. So.
Right. Fantasy GP. We're going to fly through this quickly because I'm aware we've been talking for a long time and we're not even on
the race,
the actual race weekend.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is, I've signed up for one of these fantasy websites where you get given X amount of money and you've got to pick a few drivers and pick some teams.
So it's like fantasy football?
Yeah, basically. So I've picked 3 drivers and 3 teams.
Okay.
And I don't remember exactly how the score works, how the points break down, but you get sort of points for where how many places the drivers make up, where they finish, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, I'll walk you through mine. So my 3 drivers, given that I have to pick a budget, because you're not doing this on the site, I can't tell you how much each driver's worth. So we're just going to pick.
I was just going to make.
You're just going to make something up. I've gone for Verstappen as like my big dog.
Yeah.
Because it was Verstappen or Lewis, and this was done just as testing was wrapping up. So I was like, well, Mercedes don't look good. Stick with Verstappen. Probably gonna score me some decent points, and if Mercedes come around, I can change. There is a substitution.
Yeah. So it's just basically just like fantasy football.
Yeah. And hopefully by that point, the driver market values have worked out. My second driver was Sainz. Partly because he was slightly cheaper than Leclerc, and because he's just a solid driver. Where Charles can have his moments and make mistakes trying to push too hard, Sainz is fairly solid. Like, he doesn't drop out that often.
Yeah.
My other choice, because I was running out of points, I had to pick someone lower down the rankings, and the cheapest driver on the grid was Kevin Magnussen. So I picked Kevin Magnussen.
Decent, that, to be fair.
And him and Sainz both scored me 21 points this weekend. So for $2 million of my $75 million amount, I'll take that. The teams I've picked, Ferrari.
Yeah.
I mean, solid choice, I think. Even if they're not outright the fastest, they're going to be up there. I went for AlphaTauri. Gasly can do some decent performances.
Showed that last year.
And I feel a little bit unsure about them now after the race, but hopefully it's not a major engine issue that they've got. They were fairly reliable most of last year, so we'll see. And Haas, mainly because I had money and I didn't know who to pick out of Williams and Alfa Romeo.
Ooh.
But Haas outscored AlphaTauri for me, so my Haas points pretty good. My team name is Brawn Cocktail.
That is a quality team name.
So who are your 3 drivers?
I'm gonna go. My boy Lulu.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously. K-Mag.
Yeah.
And trying to think who else. Maybe. I don't know. Do I have a budget or not?
Nah.
I'm gonna go Lulu, Leclerc, and K-Mag.
Fair.
Teams, Ferrari. Maybe Alfa Romeo and Haas.
Interesting.
I don't have a team name. So.
I'm intrigued to see what Alfa Romeo will do.
Did it ask you for predictions?
It did ask me for predictions.
What were your predictions?
So I was asked for the podium, pole position, fastest lap, how many safety cars, and where will Nico finish. It was initially where was Seb finish,
but
they've subbed.
because Seb has COVID.
Fortunately, my result wouldn't have mattered because the Astons were crap and I picked the right one. so
what was your prediction?
So my prediction for the podium.
Was
Verstappen P1, Leclerc P2, Lewis P3.
Well, you got one of them right.
So I've got Lewis right, I got Leclerc nearly right, so I got a couple of points, but Verstappen completely wrong. Pole position, I put Max.
You got that wrong.
I got that wrong. The thing is though, I didn't even consider Ferrari in that. I thought that they were just going to put Perez out there, Max follow him, secure the pole position.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Fastest lap, I went for Checo, which was almost true.
Yeah.
He did have it for a while.
Up to the last bit. Which we'll get on about later in a bit.
Basically, because I thought he was just going to be behind the two Ferraris, 4th place, in a league of his little place of his own.
Yeah.
And they'd just make it happen. Safety car, I said 1 safety car, which is correct.
Yep.
So I'm very happy about that. And I did before the race. I also would have picked a number of 4 people not finishing.
4 retirements.
There was only 3 though.
Ooh.
But when the safety car came out, I did say that we'd go from 1 to 4 very quickly.
Yeah.
It almost happened. And the bonus question of where would Nico finish, I put 9th or worst. There were 3 options. I think it was 1st to 4th, 5th to 8th, and 9th and under. So I put 9th or less, which was correct because he was 18th or 17th or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bahrain. We've been talking for nearly an hour now, but we're finally on to Bahrain. I quite like it as a season opener.
I prefer it to Australia.
I'm not going that far. I really like Australia as a track though.
Yeah.
So I've got a soft spot for Australia. Qualifying was alright. There were a few surprises. Albon to Q2 was pretty good. Schumacher to Q2. Danny Rick going out in Q1.
The McLaren's not making it to Q3.
Yeah. There were a lot of things that were on their own little surprises, and obviously Bottas and K-Mag Q3.
Bottas out qualifying George.
We'll go up to those. There were a lot of things that were surprises, but overall it was just a bit. Yeah, it's alright. There was no major shocks.
Yeah.
Based on free practice at least, Bottas looked good, and him getting into the top 10 was not massively a shock given that he's on a 102 race streak of doing that now.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the other 101 are Mercedes.
Yeah,
but you know, George P9, mainly because he cocked up turn 1 in his fast lap. I think the team told him to go for a harder out lap, but he ruined his tyres. Yeah, his tyres weren't right. Outside of that, he would have been on for about 5th or 6th. So, it's not too bad. Magnussen just drove that Haas really well. Fair play. I don't know what else to say about qualifying.
I didn't watch qualifying,
No.
but I saw the highlights and
Yeah, congratulations, Charles on the pole.
Yep.
That was his 10th pole position in Bahrain, his first.
His first was at Bahrain as well, 2019.
Yeah. Nice to see him finish a race in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Let alone win one.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the race. Man, it was only 2 hours ago the race finished, and it feels like an eternity since the start of the race.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of jostling at the start, but actually a lot more well behaved. We were thinking
crash into turn 1.
Something into turn 1 or turn 4.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit from, I think it was Ocon.
And Schumacher.
I don't know if that was the first lap. It was in the start.
It was the first few laps.
Anyway. Yeah, towards the start.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in the midfield, but that's just them getting through. The cars can't go 4 wide round a corner.
No.
To then turn it immediately back the other way for turn 2.
Yeah.
There needs to be someone giving way, and they kind of just behave for once.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that no one lost their front wing, because they're big front wings.
If they fall off,
they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Not only that, but
a lot
also,
of debris, a lot of cars going.
Yeah, with the new tyres and the little wheel brows as well, it's really difficult for the drivers to see each other.
Yeah.
I was thinking this race of all, with the 1-2 of Bahrain, you're just going to be blinded. But, yeah.
Wait till next week.
Yeah. Oh my word, it's going to be horrible.
It was horrible last year. Imagine it was going to be like this year.
Yeah, I mean, they have made a few little changes, but...
Yeah, but still, it's
No,
not the widest of tracks, is it?
I don't think we should be racing there for many reasons. We'll get onto that for next week, though. Really, the race was sort of just a normal race, nothing special, until one little radio message from Science, which both of us perked up. I think we were pretty close to falling asleep, both of us. For a little bit. Both of us perked up when they said triple stop available.
Oh yeah, we were like, oh, hey,
hang on.
What's this?
Triple stop.
Don't really see any 3 stops nowadays in Formula 1.
We don't. And I was like, there is no way, because I think that happened just as Lewis had pitted onto the hards, or around that time. I was like, there's no way. Like, you can tell Lewis is on the hards. He's going to go for like that one stop. He's going to the end. He ain't coming back in. We'll go on to that. But we're dead sure the Mercedes are going for a one stop.
All to the end, yeah.
There's no way Ferrari, P1, P3, are going to go triple stop. That's never happening.
Nah.
Carlos, what are you on about?
Yeah.
Mr. Sainz Jr., I apologise.
Yeah.
Because we saw a lot of stops.
Yeah, more than I expected, to be fair.
Yeah. I didn't expect the degradation to be that bad.
Nah. I think it's because of the new regs and the new tyres. Maybe they just get used to it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Bahrain is an abrasive track anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I didn't expect a 3-stop or a 4-stop in. Maybe someone's done a 4-stop. I've not checked, but I genuinely thought Carlos was a little bit loco.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mercedes didn't stay on the hards, and weirdly they left a gap between them all as well. It felt like they were doing 2 experiments and not talking to each other.
Yeah. But whereas Ferrari were covering Red Bull.
Ferrari covered Red Bull. That's all they needed to do.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Do whatever he does, but the lap after.
Yeah. Although second time round, I was unsure what they were going to do right at the end. I say maybe even third time round. When Max pitted out of nowhere, it must have been third time round, just before the safety cars.
Yeah.
Max pitted out of nowhere, and we went, "You just thrown it away.
Yeah.
You thrown it away. What are you doing?"
And then Perez came in afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe this is the strategy that we need going forward. Is we need
strategy
to
just to throw every other team off and just
is factor in the fact that these tyres could be very abrasive. If these were the hardest 3 in the set as well.
Yeah, but we're gonna be like when you get to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, maybe that is the case. It's one race. We're never gonna know. Let's see what we're like in Miami.
5-6 races time, something like that.
Miami with a new track. Let's see what we're doing there. But it's a bit like bewildering to me what happened. We've got to talk about the safety car. Because
before we do that, Max and Leclerc had a few good had a good solid 3-4 laps battling each other.
they did, yeah. This was out of the first pit
Max
stops.
threw a tantrum as well.
Yeah, out of the first pit stops, they had, what was it, a 3-second gap Leclerc had ahead of Max, and then the undercut happened, and they were battling on exit.
Max pitted first, then Leclerc, and then as Leclerc were coming out, Max was pretty much next to him.
Yeah, so Max must have had a great outlap, or Leclerc had a bad in-lap, one of the two, because it was a few seconds down to nothing, and then we had the first decent race for the lead.
Yep.
And that's it. They swapped positions on the first DRS, and then Leclerc got it back into turn 4 on the next DRS.
Some little Frenchman called Pierre Gasly, until his car decided to stop working.
Yeah.
And set fire to itself.
Yep.
So he had to pull over, and then they threw a VSC at first, and we were like, oh.
Yeah.
And then we saw a safety car, and we was like,
ooh. Lap 44, Pierre Gasly on fire. One Red Bull.
One
Bull engine.
Honda powered car.
So, well, no, it's Red Bull powertrains. It's AlphaTauri Red Bull powertrains.
Okay.
As I'm reading it. It's really, I was like, what the hell is RBPT? Red Bull powertrains is what they're calling it. But that's a shame. You know, it's Pierre Gasly. He was running fairly well.
Yeah.
That's a shame. It's on fire. But safety car.
We were like, oh,
and we went. That's a shame. New safety car rules. Here we go. Let's see if they're enforced.
And Lewis just pitted just before that came
Lewis
out.
pitted right before it. We immediately went George Pitt.
And he pitted. He must have heard us because they brought him in.
Yeah. And then we had a little bit more driving around on the safety car.
All lapped cars and lapped themselves.
Yeah. And
This
as
time.
far as I'm aware,
and we double checked because there were 6 lapped cars and there were 6 numbers that came up on the top.
as far as I'm aware, it all went correctly.
Yeah.
I say this with the biggest bit of caution because who knows?
Still been debating it next week.
The results, as of speaking, I don't think have officially been ratified because it takes. They always have a couple of hours to do things.
Yeah.
And then we got back underway, and something happened to Max in his pit stop.
Yeah, he had an issue with his steering.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was his power steering or something.
Yeah, he was having trouble with his steering, and
It basically
Winding
it was heavy going left and right, wasn't it?
yeah, which is, I guess, an issue. He was saying on the safety car it was easier because at full speed
It's hard.
it was hard,
steer,
which makes sense because there's more force involved,
Yeah.
more air going over the car, whatnot. But it'd be nice for Max to just have one race. It'd be nice for GP for one race if Max just didn't whine. Because although last season Max drove a really mature drive for most races, every flipping race,
Every time he had an
it
issue,
just sounds like a kid.
throws his toys at that prom.
Yeah, and that is.
Did that again today.
I understand he's going to be frustrated. I understand he wants to be out the front dominating, doing what Lewis has done for 8 years.
Yeah.
I get that. I really do. But come on, man. These guys are pushing you as best they can.
Yeah.
They need time to figure out what's going wrong.
And then
he said the battery.
Got his steering sorted.
Well,
he was managing his steering.
it was a stable situation.
Yeah. And then he reported issues with his battery, and Red Bull were like, "Nah, it's perfectly fine, boss, big man." And he was like, "No, it's not. What you want about?"
Yeah, and it wasn't the battery, because I see the reason why he's retired on here.
Ooh.
And it wasn't the battery.
Ooh.
Because he only went round another lap or two, and then
It was.
and then the second to last straight, he got overtaken by the Sainz, and we were like, hold on.
I'm going to say that we definitely didn't cheer really, 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 really loudly. We were in floods of tears and crying all over.
We were definitely, we were definitely happy that the British drivers got further. Like,
Yeah.
we are British. We want to cheer on the British
Yeah.
drivers. Of course we do. It was when then like Magnussen and Bottas were going past him. There's something a big issue. Because initially it just looked like a normal overtake.
Yeah, and then
and then
he just went proper
because of the
slow.
camera changes and like turn 12, 13. Is it 12, 13?
The
right-hander into the back straight. The camera angles do look a bit weird, and you can miss a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe Max ran wide, made a mistake.
Yeah, and then we saw George overtake. It was like,
and then
okay, and then everybody else
he stopped.
overtaking.
He effectively just stopped.
We were like,
Man, just
yay.
he just didn't move. He got it back to the pits in the end.
What was the issue then?
The issue is written down as fuel pump. Now then, that's not good. Engine need fuel to go bare.
Go
fuel,
vroom.
no
No
brake.
vroom.
Yeah, and it's all part of the same powertrain engine system. And then 2 laps later,
Last lap. Was it last lap? Second to last lap?
penultimate lap, Perez.
No, it was the final lap. So we went down in. As they're coming down into turn 1 on the final lap.
Yeah, but he's retired doing 56 laps of 57.
Yeah, but they were on the last lap when it happened.
Yeah. Well, Perez, the penultimate lap, was complaining that he was losing power, and we thought, no way.
Nah, can't
No
be.
way.
You can't have another third.
Also, keep an eye on Yuki, but no way.
Yeah.
And then he did. Yeah, his engine blew.
Lewis was catching him on the straight. I was like, it's going to be an easy overtake. Got around the first corner and then he just spun.
Yeah. You like defensive move from Perez. That's what you need to do. Well done.
Why is he going back? Why is he facing 90 degrees?
Yeah. Well, yeah. George has done well there.
Yeah, no, to be fair, they both did well to avoid him because he rolled back, didn't he, as he was...
Lewis on the initial move out of the way and then George coming through as Perez was rolling back.
Yeah.
And then all the other drivers, I mean, knew he was there, so I assumed...
What has that been put down to?
His engine. Engine blew up.
Oh.
Less fiery than Gasly's, obviously.
He's got engine knock, he said, didn't he? Or something?
Yeah. So, welcome to F1 for Red Bull powertrains. You've really taken on the Honda spirit of having 3/4 of your car fail. Yuki, the only one that survived.
Imagine the scenes, yeah, if Yuki had retired with like an engine issue. There'd have been some serious conversations.
So right now, of all the Red Bull powertrain drivers that have ever been in Formula 1, the only one to have scored points and the only one to have finished a race is the second driver of the second team.
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I don't wish reliability problems on any team.
No.
I kind of hope they have a McLaren 2015, 16, 17.
You really don't like Red Bull.
Reliability issues. I'm just saying.
I'm going into this attitude. Yes, I'm supporting the British drivers. Right. I can't not do that.
Yeah.
Right. That will always be a case, regardless of who they're driving for. But I'm going into this with a much more open idea of my Formula 1 fan got hurt last year.
Yeah.
And I just want that to be happy again.
Yeah.
We're on the right track. The changes
I
they've
mean,
made.
the last few races of it.
Yeah, but
the last few laps, sorry.
Yeah, the last few laps. The little fanboy in me got hurt last year. So I just want a good season.
Yeah.
Like, while it would be nice to see certain drivers do well, while it would be nice to see certain teams do well, it's great that Ferrari are back at the top. But fingers crossed. It's nice that Haas back drivable.
Yeah.
Let alone competitive. I just want 22, 23 races of, like, this is Formula 1.
Yeah, exciting.
I want this season to basically say, we don't need Drive to Survive to bring fans in.
No.
Because look at what we can do.
Yeah, 100%.
And if that happens, no one's going to... Forever people will be talking about Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
But no one's going to be bringing it up.
No one will be talking about it as
like
much.
it is now. It'll be consigned to the history books and people will go, why is there a little asterisk next to Max's name for 2021?
Yeah.
Rather than, well, do you remember what happened in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else going on. It's nice to see Alex Albon back. It's nice to see Hülkenberg back. It's the Nico.
Yeah.
Even if it's only for one race.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Bottas actually happy. I think getting out of that Mercedes
was good for him.
Environment is definitely what he needed. It's great to see K-Mag back, and it's really nice to see
Guan Yu.
Zhou Guan Yu, yeah. I was trying not to say Joe, like Joseph.
That crossed his head a few times.
I was trying to put the Z in there to try and... Yeah. He is the latest debutant in Formula 1, the first Chinese
ever
driver.
Chinese run.
Yeah.
And he lives in Sheffield as well. Big repping for Yorkshire.
For the part of Yorkshire that we only just call Yorkshire.
Yeah.
66th driver on debut to score points. He finished 10th, so he got the 1 point. Which means there's an Alfa Romeo double score.
Good for them.
Mad. Yeah, they're 4th in the constructors. Wow. The other driver that I think did really well was Sonoda. Just started 16th, finished P8th. Yeah, there was a few drivers that dropped out, but to make up 8 places, obviously Bahrain works for him. Last year debut, he scored well as well.
Yeah. Not only that, but I know it's nothing really he can fix, but the fact that he didn't have a reliability issue. The only Red Bull powertrain car that didn't have a reliability issue.
Yeah. I mean, that's alright, isn't it?
If he had done, there'd have been some serious talks at Red Bull.
There would have been. I feel like there's a little bit of luck involved there, unless you're absolutely ragging the thing.
Yeah, which Max normally is.
I don't think you can actually say. I don't think you can be like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to happen. Someone's going to lose their engine. Someone's going to survive an engine.
Yeah.
I do just want to mention something. In the start of this season, we were being told by the F1 guys, the cars look like they're 4 or 5 seconds slower, but that'll probably, once everyone understands the regs, by the end of the era they'll be back on track.
Yeah.
The end of the shakedown in Barcelona, not the testing, the shakedown as they called it.
Shakedown.
Well, it pretty much was. It was, can you cars drive around? Is there any major issues? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
We were down within a couple of seconds of where we expected them to be, and then in normal testing we were pretty close. The fastest lap this year in the race was a 34.5 from Charles. The fastest lap last year was a 32 flat, so it's 2.5 seconds already in race pace.
Yeah. Well, they did say
That's
that
not
last
bad.
year, didn't
That's not bad,
they? No.
considering we were expecting 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
To be within 2 seconds, and from at least a little bit we've seen, have better following of the cars.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I know it's only one race, but
It did look it because
it looked like they could follow a lot easier.
Yeah, we had Max and Charles go for a bit, Lewis and Perez for a bit.
Yeah. I want to see how well they follow at tracks that you can't really follow at.
Yeah.
Like Monaco. Or other, I don't know what other tracks not really good for following.
I'm interested to see what happens next week in Jeddah,
Yeah.
because that is a very tight circuit where you kind of have to follow.
Yeah.
If the aero's bad, it's going to get split up very quickly.
Yeah.
So maybe it will be tighter. Maybe it'll be a bit more Formula E-esque in terms of the driving, the racing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Just hope we don't have loads of crashes like we did last year.
Yeah, I just think it's too fast a circuit for how thin it is. It's too narrow for that speed.
Yeah.
It's too hairpinning and dangerously blind cornery for the speeds. Because it is effectively, it's like in Baku, turn 16 to the start finish line, you've got those S's.
Oh yeah, the flat.
And you're going
basically
fast.
flat.
It's like that the entire lap.
Yeah.
At least Baku's got some, even the 90-degree corners, you've got an open view when you're going in. Whereas, literally, oh my days, the onboard of all the drivers last year, my word, you couldn't see a damn thing.
Not only that, but like last year when they were driving and if they were going 2 or 3 wide, there was hardly any space.
Yeah.
And I think these cars are a bit wider out there, so not.
I mean, they look it. I
They
don't know.
look it. I don't know if they are, but if they are, then
yeah. There is one. There's one other thing in terms of changes for this season that we need to very quickly hold on to. Spa was a bit of a faff last season.
yeah.
There is now a changed system for points on a shorter race.
What is the rule?
So right now, if a full length race, 25 points for a win, down to 1 point for 10th place.
Yep.
So no points will be awarded unless a minimum of 2 laps have been completed under green flag conditions.
So if it's
Two proper race
exactly
laps.
spy, what happen?
No points will be awarded. So 2 racing laps.
Green flag laps, yeah.
If more than 2 laps are completed but less than a quarter of the scheduled race distance, the points will be awarded 6, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 5.
That's fair.
25 to 50% will be 13, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 9. 50 to 75% will be 19, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 10.
Yeah.
And if more than 75 is scheduled,
It's
then
normal.
4 points.
Right, yeah. That clears it up.
That gets rid of that stupid half a flipping point as well.
Yeah.
It's so nice when you just see a nice round number.
Yeah, no decimal.
Flipping decimal, yeah.
So if there's no 2 lap green flag racing, abandoned race.
Just no points will be awarded, I guess. I mean, maybe it's still possible that you could go out behind the safety car, try and judge the conditions, and do the drivers think it's safe enough to go racing under? No, okay, well let's pull them in then.
Yeah.
I think that could happen. The sprint format is tweaked a little bit.
And it's more points.
Points to the top 8 rather than the top 3.
What are the points?
I don't know.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, all time. 10, 8, 6, 5,
Maybe.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't see
What
them.
races have we got the sprints at?
They will be run at Emilia Romagna, Italy,
Emilia, yeah.
Austria, and
Yeah.
Sao Paulo.
Ooh.
So a change. And also it will now be the format. So it won't be called sprint qualifying. We will have qualifying as per usual, and the fastest time in qualifying will be credited as the official pole sitter. Yeah. The winner of sprint still starts first on Sunday on the Grand Prix.
Mm.
But statistically, the fastest car in qualifying is pole one, which I think clears a lot of things up, because the sprint is really a race.
Yeah, but so if Leclerc Leclerc qualifies first, he'll
Yeah.
start first for the for the sprint.
Yes, and
Then if he finishes second, he'll start
Yes.
second. Won't he?
he'll start second, but he'll still have the pole position statistically,
Oh, it'll go down as his stats.
because it's the
pole.
qualifying. They're clearing it up. It was
Qualifying will count as qualifying.
yes, and sprint will be just the
Grid,
sprint.
just be the grid order.
Yeah, it's not sprint quali. As
Yeah,
it was
no,
last year.
it'll just be the grid order for the race, basically.
Yeah, it's just a sprint race.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. And finally, the other thing with quali, the Q2 rule is gone. I'm a bit torn on this. So the rule was until this year, whatever tyre you did your fastest lap on in Q2, if you had got through to Q3, you started your race
on
on
your
that
Q2
Q2
tyre.
which meant that the sort of positions 11, 12, 13 had a bit of an advantage over 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10,
Because they could have fresher tyres.
because they'd have fresh tyres and go for an alternate strategy.
Yep.
Your top 10 were locked in then to your race strategy, which I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Now it's opened up.
They've scrapped that so you can start on whatever tyre you want.
Yeah.
Just waiting for someone to start on wets on a dry track.
That's never. Well, is that say that's never going to happen? And then I think of Hungary last year. There's a reason why you don't do it.
Yeah.
Lewis will attest to that.
Yeah.
I think the amount of potential opportunities for strategy have now been reduced,
Yeah.
because yes, your top 10 were locked in, but then that meant that the second half of the grid knew what was going on and could switch around.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of the advantage of or disadvantage of 3 or 4 cars in the bottom of the top 10, this change doesn't make sense. It definitely makes things simpler.
Yep.
Someone coming in now watching like a full race, even if it was like a sprint weekend,
Yep.
you could easily explain to them why things are happening. Whereas before there were a lot of, but this has happened.
Yeah.
This has happened, so this has happened, and because this has happened, that has happened.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot more simple. But the little bit of, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me wanting to hold on to the past, but it does feel like it didn't need to happen.
No.
We'll find out. Come back at the end of the season. We'll revisit these at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that just about does it. We've flown through that. We haven't flown through that. We've been talking like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But considering how much we had to talk about,
Yeah,
it's been a
but-
long time
yeah.
since we were here doing a podcast. It's great to be back.
100%.
It is great to be back.
100%. And we plan to do more this year,
Yeah,
covering different sports as well.
we've got some good ideas coming up. Like to be a bit more engaged on social media.
Yeah.
Let's do some decent content this year. Let's push for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to be back in the Formula One world.
Yeah, nice
Nice
to have
to
it back.
race.
98 days without Formula 1.
It was a long time.
Felt like 98 years.
It's been
84 years!
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to be back.
Right, how do we wrap these up? Thanks.
Oh, we haven't done his predictions for next week.
Check out our Instagram for predictions next week.
Yes,
We'll post them on there. That's where our predictions will be from now on, is on social media.
Yeah.
We'll post them out.
This will be on
properly.
Spotify. This podcast will probably get put up on Spotify and
Yep.
Apple Podcasts and
Yeah.
any other podcast streaming sites that are available nowadays.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, subscribe,
Yeah.
check us out on Instagram, and we'll see you next time.
He's nailed it. Well done, mate. Well remembered. I was going to look them up.
Boom!
Alright. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
See ya.